if you don't do that, then you don't even give yourself the opportunity to get people to do the next step, which is getting them to raise their hand, just not take out their wallet. And when they raise their hand, they're saying, hey, I'm interested in what you have to say, but I'm not interested in taking out my wallet to pay you money yet. Okay. And you have to get people to say yes to their time and their attention before they say yes to taking out their wallet. Okay. And that means that you have to give them something. You have to give them something that's good. Okay. And the people that value their time and their attention the most means that you're going to have to give them something that's extremely valuable. People that don't value their time and their attention, those are people that sign up for everything. Those are people also that usually don't do anything. You have to give them even more than those other people, right? And if you don't do that, then it's not even opening up the door for the next step to happen. So are you following me so far? Step number one is you got to get people to know you that don't currently know you. Step number two is you have to get people to raise their hand before they take out their wallet. Welcome to the Seekers for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you as always for joining me. Can I talk today about why I love one-to-many offers? Why I love, I've totally moved away. I would say 99% of the things that I do out there in the marketplace are one-to-many, and they are no longer one-to-one. And the reason why I love them so much is because of what just happened today. I was doing a coaching call with about 30 members of a community that I'm a part of, that I host and that people pay money to be in. And the first three questions um, were so needed for everyone, all 30 of the people that were on the call, and then the other 15 or so that weren't on the call. It was so needed. And so I'm going to actually share some of those questions with you all, because I think it's just so powerful. I think it's going to help you. And I think that um, it's just proof. I can give you proof that like this is the way that I believe many of you should do this. Okay. And then maybe at the end of the podcast, I'll show you like how I was able to make that transition. Okay. Is that cool? All right. So let's talk about the first question. So the first question was from one of my students. He is a registered dietitian. He wants to stop trading time for money. He helps high level athletes, dial in their nutrition and all that other good stuff. So he's got something, pretty good, right? But he is, trying to build something online, and um, and he's been doing the right things, but he's not frustrated, but he's like, man, I don't see the money yet because I am I'm building up my audience. He's getting 5,000 impressions per week. People looking at his stuff. He's doing a lot of messaging to his audience. He's having a lot of DM conversations with athletes that could use his help in some way. And I think he's had like two or three calls with people that have actually verbally committed to being in his program, but they haven't gone into his program yet. So he was a little like frustrated, like I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I'm not seeing the money yet. And so even though he was the only one that presented not even so much a question, but maybe even like a mini gripe, just maybe reassurance is what he needed on where he's at. I asked people at the end of the call, like, how much did his question and the answer I gave for his question help them? And pretty much everybody was just like, yeah, that was so needed for me. And so I'm going to share with you what I shared with them. I'm not going to share the whole call with you because you ain't in the program, or maybe you are. And if you are, you heard it. Go listen to it, okay? But I want to share with you all like what I shared with those people that I think is so important to understand. In the beginning, when you are getting started with your business, okay, no one owes you anything. And I think this is one of the tough things about those of us that have put so much time and effort and dedication and commitment to learning our craft and going to school to get this certification or this, licensure. We feel as though because we've already earned the licensure that the marketplace owes us something, and that's not how it works. The marketplace doesn't owe you anything. And so when you're getting started, um, you have to have the mindset that nobody owes you anything. They don't owe you anything. You haven't proven anything to the marketplace yet. And so, one of the things that we must understand is we must understand, are we doing things to eventually put ourselves in a position to where people will happily pay us money for the value that we're going to provide to them? But that doesn't just happen because you get a degree of being an OT or a registered dietitian or a physical therapist or a chiropractor or a nurse practitioner. It doesn't matter. Okay, this is how it works. The way that it works is, first, you must get awareness from people that don't even know you exist. Okay, that is the first thing that must happen, right? And the only way that happens is that happens through really three different modes, right? You can pay companies that have big platforms that have your audience. You can pay them money, and they will put you in front of their audience. Okay, that's number one. Number two is you can partner with other people that have the audience that you're looking for, and you could bring value to their audience in a way that makes them look good, and that eventually could make you look good, and it could potentially turn into business. That's number two. And then number three is you can you can really bring really good content to platforms that have a focus on making people addicted to their platforms. So if you can bring content that is so good that it makes other people addicted to your content, hence they'll stay on the platform because of you, the platform will reward you by putting you in front of more of those types of people. Because they love you? No, it's because they love their business, they love themselves, and they love their platform, and they want to make money. And so if you do one of those three things really good, you're going to get in front of people that currently don't know you to know you. Okay? And without that, you can't grow a business. Okay? You have to have that first. So you got to do it in one of those three ways. If you can do it in 2 to 3 ways and do it at a very high level, you're probably going to grow your business a lot faster. If you can do all three at a very high level, that's very hard to do. I'm not saying it's totally impossible, but it's very hard to do. Then you'll do well. Okay? And so that's how it works. Right? And if you don't do that, then you don't even give yourself the opportunity to get people to do the next step, which is getting them to raise their hand, just not take out their wallet. And when they raise their hand, they're saying, hey, I'm interested in what you have to say, but I'm not interested in taking out my wallet to pay you money yet. Okay. And you have to get people to say yes to their time and their attention before they say yes to taking out their wallet. Okay. And that means that you have to give them something. You have to give them something that's good. Okay. And the people that value their time and their attention the most means that you're going to have to give them something that's extremely valuable. People that don't value their time and their attention, those are people that sign up for everything. Those are people also that usually don't do anything. You have to give them even more than those other people, right? And if you don't do that, then it's not even opening up the door for the next step to happen. So are you following me so far? Step number one is you got to get people to know you that don't currently know you. Step number two is you have to get people to raise their hand before they take out their wallet. Step number three is now you have to start to build a rapport, a relationship, and start a transformation for people, meaning that you have to get them results. You have to get them results before they pay you. So if you're not getting them results, there is a very, very high probability they will never take out their wallet. They have to get wins from you before they pay you. Let me say that again. They have to get wins from you before they pay you. So you must get people wins. This podcast, I'm hoping, is going to get you a win. And if I don't get you a win, I don't deserve your money. Like, you should not pay me. You should have proof that I can help you before I actually ask for any type of monetary compensation from you. Okay? And that has to happen. And when that happens, people start to consider a different way. Maybe this makes sense. You know what? Maybe this makes sense. Maybe I will consider doing this. But just because they consider doing it doesn't mean they're going to do it. Okay? Considering to do something versus actually doing something, there's a step that has to happen in between. And that's called I have to have intent on doing something. So I've considered many things. I've considered skydiving. Have I ever skydived? Nope. I've considered, eating gator. I mean, it's not that I wouldn't eat it. I just haven't done it, right? I've considered a lot of things that I've never done. So just because you consider doing something doesn't mean that they're going to do it. And if you understand these things, then it won't frustrate you when people don't become your customer. You must understand that they've got to go through this. Now, this can happen really fast. But for some people, this takes years. For some people, they get stuck at one place and they never move. Okay? They never, ever, ever move. So you have to consider something first before you can intend on doing something. And then once you intend on doing something, then now you're evaluating, right? So like recently, I just bought an electric bike. Okay. I haven't gotten it yet. It's on its way. But I was considering an electric bike, okay, for months. Okay. My wife and I were considering getting one. All right. And then I intended on getting one about 2 weeks ago. And over the last 2 weeks, I have probably uh, looked at about maybe 15 to 20 different companies, and I've been evaluating lots of people. So again, just because someone's considering you and just because they intend to do something doesn't mean they have to use you. And if you could just understand the journey of what people go through, maybe we won't feel so entitled that people must give us their business. This is a journey and a process they have to go through. Okay. And so what I told this client is I said, look, they have to be at the evaluation uh, component of their journey in order to even consider you. Just because they're evaluating you doesn't mean that you made the cut. Like it doesn't mean you made the cut. You got to think of it like American Idol. You know what I mean? It's a crap ton of people just to get to the place to do all the auditions. And then from the auditions, there's only like 1% that actually get through. And then from there, they have to go to round one and then round two and round three and round four, round five, and all these different rounds, right? And so it's no different with the customer journey. And so once that has happened, then you have the potential for them to become your customer. And anyways, that's what I explained to this student. Now, as I said that to you, you can just answer this question for me. Did that benefit you in any way of everything I just broke down? Now, I broke this down for that one client, but there were 29 other people on the call. And those people were like, wow, I needed to hear that as well. This is why I love one-to-many, because it doesn't force everybody to come up with all the great questions. All the questions just need to be had or need to be created by one person for this one person for that one person for this one person for that question. And then together it creates so much wisdom and so much knowledge and so much understanding. Okay. And that's why one to many is so powerful. Okay. So I'm telling you all that because I really believe that that is the way to go. Now, what are other ways that you can do that? You don't have to do that with a group coaching. You could do that through a community. You could do that through doing an event. You can do that through doing a retreat. I just believe that one to many allows you to be able to serve people at such a higher level because it's not just the brilliance of you and the ability for that one client to receive. Okay. So for me, somebody asks me a question, I'm relying on how well their question is in order for me to give an answer. If they give me a crappy question, they're going to probably get the best possible answer I can give from a crappy, question. Okay. But the beautiful thing, and that's only a one-to-one, right? Okay. But the beautiful thing is when I have multiple people on a call, I can get, even if I get 4 dud questions, if I get 16 great ones, it can move people forward in ways that they weren't even thinking about. And I believe it just opens up the doors for so many people. And I think that that's some of the most powerful things. Now, I'm going to tell you one other thing that I told a client on today's call that I think is really important. Why I love group calls is that I am a premium consultant and I want to get paid at a premium level. But I know this is what I want my time to be compensated per hour because this is the amount of time that I want to work per week, right? So I know for me, I don't want to work any more than 20 hours a week, right? Okay. So like last week, I worked 11 hours. Okay. The week before though, I worked 50. Okay. Because I had private clients here for the entire week. Right. But here's the deal. The deal is that I only want to work an average 20 per week. Okay. And I know what I want to make for my lifestyle. I know what I want to make for me, not just having my lifestyle, but also building assets so that I can follow the commandments of the Bible and, which says a good man will leave an inheritance to his children's children. And I know I can only do that not just by making a lot of money. I've got to build assets so that I'm leaving something for our future generations, right? For the Todd legacy. So I know what I have to make in order to do as the Bible is commanding me to do, but then at the same time, work within this allotted period of time. I need to make X amount of money per hour. And I know that I will have some clients that will pay me that, but I know that most people just aren't in a position to do that. But with group coaching, I can split up that rate with people. Okay. Like I could split it up. I know what I want to make per hour, but if I can have enough people that can justify, that can pay me that amount per hour, we can split it up. And it's a better deal because they're getting questions that they would have never asked. And I'm able to give answers that they would have never thought of that can then help them like amplify their business in ways that they could have never imagined. And so I just think this is important for you all to understand and hear this, maybe even witness this and feel this. And if it's done right, there's nothing better than it, you know? And so, anyways, that's what I wanted to tell you guys on today's episode. I really, really want to stress to you all to think in the one-to-many format. You'll get paid better and it will give you a much better product for all of your clients. I hope that helps you. Till next time.